that's been happening as well in the Midwest. In the Midwest, that's where you do the big swing. Well, as we look at the temperatures, we talk about St. Louis, my town, today, high of 79 degrees. Now, typically, you usually see your last 80-degree reading coming October 20th. Well, guess what tomorrow is? October 21st, and we're going to be looking at a temperature of 84 degrees. Now, as we look ahead for areas including back in parts of the Midwest, including Texas, as well as even up towards Iowa, these temperatures are going to be soaring because the winds coming out of the south, as opposed to last week when we saw that northerly flow. This is going to boost your temperatures up. And look at anywhere in red. You're going to see a high today of 87 degrees in Dodge City. Dodge City, your summer has been pretty nice, and the same for your fall with temperatures above average. And then tomorrow, we're going to see more of that heat spreading into areas like Pittsburgh as well as into Nashville. In Little Rock, we're going to look at a high of 85 degrees. Well, for more, we turn it over to the other Jen Carfagno because we had the Jen squared this morning.
Yeah, easy on the rundown, right? But confusing at the same time. Lots of Jens. But, you know, too much of a good thing. Too much dry and sunny. That's been our problem in Texas. Too much dry and sunny this summer. And that's why we're dealing with a drought back in place across.
Trying to clear them and bring them to you. But I've seen video of lightning and the heavy rain in people's yards.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's unusual for this time of year as well to see this much activity this early in the morning.
Right. Yeah. Especially with no monsoon to talk about. Well, good morning to you this morning. Right now, 30 minutes past the hour. And, of course, we're all here today. Jen Carfagno, Sam Champion.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, I'm Anaridis. Hola.
Hi. Here's some of the things.
At home, arson investigation in Oklahoma. That's first in our headline.
And, you know, it's actually crazy that it was a southerly wind that was really, like, cranking up the waves yesterday. So let's talk about what's happening, though, with the waves. A little farther south, we're going to go down into the tropics and talk about what's going on along the coast of Mexico right here in the eastern Pacific. So this is an area of disturbed weather, 97E. It's still an invest, but it's likely to be a tropical depression probably today. Worst case tomorrow. And the next name on the list after it's a tropical depression is Patricia. Eastern Pac. You can see how widespread right now. We've got an area of scattered showers and thunderstorms. It's not terribly organized just yet, but likely that it will. And we will see it bring rain. And that's one of the biggest concerns with it is the rain that it will bring to Mexico right here. That's the area of low pressure. The models are pretty much in line with what they think it's going to do. And they all have a decent amount of rain right here. Acapulco, one area that we're watching. And again, some mountains down there as well, which once you go just inland, a lot of rain and the upslope flow will lead to the concern of flooding and flash flooding. Same time, we've got tropical moisture that we're watching. We've been talking about that this morning over here in the southern Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche. That gets drawn up into Texas, and there'll be a tap from this Patricia moisture as well that gets drawn up into Texas and the southern plains as well. Then we go over into Hurricane Olaf, which has now crossed from the eastern Pacific into the central Pacific. So it's now handled by the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, and a lot to talk about with this one. Thankfully, it is not affecting land. It is out here in the middle of the ocean, but it is the southernmost Cat 4. Yesterday, it was actually below 10 degrees latitude, so the closest to the equator for a Cat 4 on record in the Western Hemisphere. Also, it is the latest in the season that a storm has crossed from the eastern to the Pacific, and it's the 21st Category 4 or 5 of the Northern Hemisphere this season. It has been so busy in this basin, and this is just another one to add to that record number of Category 4 or 5 storms. Closer view in so you can see what it is, Sam. You've got a very tiny eye, likely that we'll see some fluctuations in intensity, but likely to stay a major for another day or two. Back to you.